All right. Hey, good evening, everyone. Dave Wilson of the Ring of Hire Show. Hey, tonight got a great show. Need I say more? But micromanagers, you got to love those words, micromanagers, and it's going to be a great show. So be right back after this video. All right. It's Sunday night, and I know everybody's excited to go back to work Monday. And you got to love doing these shows on Sunday. Everybody's probably checking their emails by now and dreading Monday when you walk in that office, right? For a micromanager. That's what the show's about tonight. But before I want to make a couple announcements. Wednesday, I have Michelle Bowman again of Munster Job Boards. Listen, it's a great show. 7:45 on Wednesday. I'll create the event. It's always great with Melissa. We go over a lot of great things. Check Munster jobs out again. A lot of people put them off to the side sometimes. You have your Indeed and Career Builder and all that, but check out Munster too. Don't forget, they've really put into a lot of money into marketing, and they're really, you got to look at it. There's a lot of great things about the jobs. Also, listen, on the Ring of Hire show here for LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the most powerful platforms anywhere for jobs, for management, for, to brand yourself, your company. This platform here, I always offer candidates, and it doesn't matter which state you're in, a live interview on the show, and it gets streamlined across a lot of the shows from social media plus, but LinkedIn and YouTube. If you're looking for a job, think about it. We have a fun time. I don't make it difficult. We just learn a little talk about yourself, your skill set, but you got to look into it. It's free. Listen, reach out to me, private message there, and I will reach back out, and we'll go from there and get you on here. And all it takes, I tell people, all it takes is one person to see you on LinkedIn here. Again, LinkedIn's one of the most powerful platforms. All it takes is one person. Also, if you're looking to be a guest, if you got something to show value to be on the show for within staffing industry, maybe jobs, hiring, social media, listen, I'm always looking for bringing on guests on the show and just learn a lot that we can show value to help out people that do watch the show in all the different states here. So one more thing is also looking for sponsors. If you'd like to be a sponsor once a month, listen, we'll do a show, put your logos up on the show here, and I'm always looking to grow. So if you're a company that wants to be a sponsor, reach out to me, and then we can discuss the details on there. So they're just some of the things. But what I wanted to talk about tonight is it is a subject, micromanagement. What is a micromanager? And this show here is always one of the highest watched on LinkedIn because everybody has worked with a micromanager probably in the past, and they can comment on it. But it's hard for them to comment on it now if they're going through it. And I put a post up. It was pretty cool. So I put this post, and it got a lot of views, and I figured it would. And I'm going to read it to you, and it goes like this. Dear micromanagers, sometimes you win and you get your way. You will accomplish your goal of ending 2 or 3 great team members that you did not like and you wanted to replace with newly hired colleagues of your own from your probably previous employer. You placed the employee and their families through hell, right? I will tell you through experience that you're going to lose your job in time. There's just no doubt about it in my mind from experience. You will lose your job. It's just a matter of time because, you're going to get, the company's going to get a newer manager and a smart one. And then HR and everybody's going to see this pattern that people leave under your management. So they're leaving, and they're going to catch on to that. And nobody wins. Nobody wins through that whole thing about, you're going to bring in your own people. You're going to take somebody that's got 5 to 10 years, and you're going to move them out of there because you take over a new job. You've come into a company, and that has got to be one of the most worst feelings that anybody can ever go through. And I'm telling you, it changes. You lose your job. People get a hold of it. They see what you do to people, how you treat them at work, how you're at meetings with them, and you really come on strong with them. And people see it. So being a micromanager, it affects family of the person. It really affects their family. It affects everything around them, their health, right? You get yourself a micromanager at work, and let me tell you, before you know it, you're either going to start drinking. And I'm not saying that to be smart, but you start going home, you start drinking because you just want to forget about work. You got a bad boss, right? Your family goes through stress because you lock yourself up. You don't want to be seen. You don't want to go to work. You dread the weekends. You dread getting up into work in the morning. You don't want to go. So it really affects every single person that you can imagine. All because of being an ass. All because of when you come into a place, you don't want to just come in there and make changes like that. If a place is running okay, get to know your managers. It's always when you take over a place, okay, you might have new ideas, and if it's a failing place, then things need to change. But you do it in a proper way. You don't just go in there guns blaring and make these changes, because these people have been there for a long time, maybe, and you're going to go in and you're going to change their lives by making them miserable. Now, that is something that happens in the office environments, and it happens everywhere in management. They don't let up. They do not let up with it. And I'm going to give you a few examples, of what happens with a micromanager. You could be in a great position with your team, and that person walks in, and they want to know every single thing you're doing. There's nothing wrong with that in the beginning. Don't get me wrong. I've told you, if you're in a good place and you come in, I kind of tend to, let me back this up a little bit. I kind of tend to like the Gordon Ramsay. You know how he goes into these failing restaurants and he brings the team out, right? Well, easiest thing to do is just replace everybody. I mean, that's what the show's about. If that was the case, it wouldn't be a show. But they teach you, he brings them out and he knows it's a broken team. So he puts them back together, and then to make them successful. Now, he goes a little crazy. You can't do that in the real world. I don't think HR would deal with that. But my point there is, when you're coming into a team, he can try to change it and make it for the good, and then turns around because everybody voices their opinions that they're being honest. Well, the owner he's a micromanager. He won't leave us alone. He doesn't let us do things our way. He doesn't let us grow. And that's one of the hardest things that I can tell you that you go through, the stress of somebody that doesn't really know the job. They think they do, but they're going to make your life a miserable friggin' hell. Miserable hell. And that's just the way it is. And some signs of that is, like, example, you're in a group, you resist delegating work. What that means is you could be in your group of people and you have your team going, right? But you want to do it yourself. Instead of giving it to your team, you want it done your way, And again, this is just going to be on the side of the employee, this show. It's not going to be the side to where if it is a problem, but you want it done your way, and that is it. So you try to keep some of the work back yourself, and you'll do it yourself. You're going to spend a lot of hours behind the scenes working, and your team doesn't even know it. But that's the resist of delegating work, and you've got to break it. If you are a micromanager and if you're doing stuff like this, these are the kind of things that are not going to make you successful with at all. You're not going to be successful. I can just tell you that. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose some good employees on the way. You are going to destroy the lives of 3 to 4 people at a branch, or in an office environment, or even in a logistics center. It doesn't matter. Your management team, you're going to push that person out. and you're going to do it in a way to where it's going to make them miserable and everybody else. Another thing is becoming this, become overly involved in the work of their employees. That means that person just won't leave you alone. They're going to sit in there and they're going to watch every single thing you freaking do. They watch you like a hawk. You can feel them watching you behind your back. Oh, I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what she's doing, and you're looking around. But if you don't, when you come in as a micromanager, and if you don't learn what the team's doing, you can do all you want. You can make your changes. Now, sometimes you might be right. Sometimes it might work. I'm not saying it doesn't, but really sit back and get to know the workers in your office. Get to know them, not just by 2 or 3 days. I've seen a person, and I'm not joking with this. This is just from experience. I call it evolving through work, through my career. I wish I would have done things a lot different sometimes and confronted some things differently and handled different situations, because I always wasn't the best. I am now, but that's a joke. No, it's not. But what you want to do is you try to teach. You want to go in and teach the people. You want to teach them what they want to learn. What you're going to teach about doing the project, or what your end goal is. You want to teach them how to get there if they don't know how to do that. But you can't watch over their back everything they do. Give each person some assignments. You're going to do that in the beginning, right? You're going to do that, give them all assignments, but just watch and sit back and don't criticize everybody. Don't pinpoint that person out in the meeting and say, hey, you can do it this way. Or as a micromanager, they point you out. They point you out every single time. And it gets you. Like I said, they're watching you behind their back. And some of the other things discourage independent decision-making. Right there, discourage independent decision-making. That means, you can't do your job. You're screwed either way you look at it. You are screwed either way. Holy crow. Hey, Bill, how you doing, sir? Bill, I think you're all over the place. It's always great to see you, Bill. I'm going to be coming back now, doing 3 to 4 shows a week. Had a little bit of time off there, had some basketball season. It was great, Bill. Cashed it very well in basketball. I enjoyed going to all the practices and games, and it was worth taking a little bit of time off. But Bill's a great for trades. You want to connect with somebody. This is the man in sales. This is a man right here. He's a great man, and he's always helped me out a lot. I guarantee if I had a problem on anything, I've had a question within my career, I could reach out to Bill. And even though I never met him and we've known each other for like 2.5 years, he'd give me his honest answer. And I appreciate that. But you discourage decision-making. So you want your team, listen, sometimes on a team, you want them to fail. And if it's something like a small project, we're not fail, but they're going to make the wrong choice. I would rather have people under me make a decision, and besides not a decision, not doing anything. Let them grow a little bit. Let them do a decision, and then you're going to come back and say, what did you learn off of that one? What did you learn? So let them learn. Let them have that little hiccup there, and then show them why and what they did. And Bill says, yeah, Bill, it was great, man. I can't wait for basketball season next year. That was the first time I work a lot, and that was totally more valuable just sitting there at the games. I couldn't wait every Saturday and Sunday, and even during the week. So it was during my show times, though. So it was either do a show or go to the game. I was like, you know what? Look at a smile. I went to the game. So, but let your employees make mistakes. That's the only way they're going to grow. They're only going to grow if they make some errors. That's what you're as a manager. You want to be able to teach that person, show them what they did wrong, and they won't do it again. I guarantee it. But if you're micromanaging that person, if you're like, what did you do it like that for? I told you to do it this way. In your mind, you might be saying it's not going to work that way. But you know what? Sometimes with a micromanager, sometimes you just have to suck it up. You either got to suck it up and figure out what you want to do if you want to stay working with someone like this that treats you like shit, that just is after your back over and over. And they're the kind of things as a team, you want your team to grow. And that's the only way it's going to happen if you do that. The next one, they are always asking for updates. That person could be let's just say a regional director overseeing multiple places. And you have to send emails after emails after emails. If you add up 15, 20 emails a day, oh my God, that just takes up your time. But a micromanager wants to know. I suggest, listen, if I had to work for one ever again in my life, which I never hope I do, I would do things differently. But just send them an email once in a while. Keep ahead of a micromanager. If a micromanager is out to get you, they're going to get you no matter what. Your destiny is already there. You see it in the office. You can see somebody going through pure friggin' hell. But you know their destiny. You know they're going to be gone. That person just does not want them there. But, back off a little bit about the updates. Listen, you got to have trust in your team. It's like Bill with the trades. He does sales, and listen, he's got to rely on his team. If he's out doing sales and saying my team can do this and they don't perform, you know what I'm saying? Then that's where he's going to be a little bit upset in sales. But as a micromanager, you want to be able to empower your employees. You want to be able to empower them. If they're making decisions, be happy about it. Be happy that you're letting them make decisions. Because I'll tell you what, if I came in on I was off the weekend or vacation and somebody made all the decisions, I'd be like, damn, freaking good. All right, well, they messed up a little bit on this one. So what? I would just go over and say, hey, next time, just do it like this. And, why? Explain why. And, sometimes they might even do a great decision. And that's when a micromanager has a hard time of it. A micromanager likes to be able to go back and sit in a meeting and just sit there and say, well, you know what? It was me. That's me. I did this. I did that, because they're not talking about the team member that actually did the job. Your team did the job, but a micromanager will sit in their meetings and just say, well, I had them change this. They will blow it right up their ass so far in a meeting that you won't even know what hit them. They're going to be like, that's all they are. They're stuck on themselves. They don't care about anybody else, just as long as they get their way and their numbers. And that not always happens, because your employees start to get smart. Your employees will get smart with a micromanager, and they will do a little bit less each time. They're going to do a little bit less each time, and they're going to watch you suffer. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's great to do that. I'm not saying from experience. As you evolve as a management and leadership, I keep saying, as I evolved, have I seen all this? Yes, it comes with experience. There was times where I was told to back off, and I was like, you know what? You're right. Back off. Let my team handle it. You know what? Week go by, everything's running fine. Everything's running fine. You don't need to jab it in there for little things, but let your team feel that they're a part of it. They succeeded, and it makes you look good. Listen, when you hire people, you want to hire, and we listen to it all on LinkedIn all the time. You do want to hire really good people, better than yourselves. Who cares? If that person's got a lot of experience, I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring them on my team, because I can just sit back and I'll tell you what, I'm going to look great as a team, and we all will celebrate, right? You all celebrate it, but you're going to be like, wow, look at Dave's team, man. I'll tell you what, they're excelling. Because you can lead that person. If one of those people really are doing well and one of them's not, sit down with that person and talk to them. Talk to them normal. Don't talk to them like a micromanager does. Micromanager saying they will be directive towards you and say, this has to be done this way. That's just the way it goes. But you always don't have to put up with it. Some of the other things, they prefer to be copied on every email. Oh my God. That, my friends, when you got to copy a micromanager on an email, every freaking email, you might as well, I'll tell you what, it sucks. You don't even have control. You're not even feel like you're a team member, because you're just like, well, this ass here, he's going to be sitting there. I'm sorry the words there, but it just comes out. That person's going to just want to watch every single thing you do. And you don't realize, being a micromanager, what that does to a person. Now, maybe as a micromanager, maybe you were treated that way. Listen, everybody's promoted, just because you know your job, you're really good at it, you've worked hard, and they've promoted you, right? Doesn't always mean you're there to manage somebody. Maybe you've never done that. Leadership, as teams, back in the 90s, I always want to say it, stuff tells your age. You didn't really have that team environment. It was just like you said, this is the way it was done, the way it was. Then came out teamwork. We all talked about it. Let me tell you what, that was the start, and it makes everybody want to stay there. It makes them feel important, that they're doing the job correctly. And I'll tell you what, you as a manager will excel. And I love that. So it's a little bit less on the emails. Take that the frig out there, especially the blind copy. Now that's another story. A blind copy. Oh, I don't do that anymore. Have I ever done it? Yeah, I've done it years and years ago. But I don't like to do that because I'd rather, if I can say it to their face, or I'd rather tell it to somebody. Why blind copy somebody? You're really that's being ignorant, in my opinion. Unless maybe it's down to like it's your job or that person's job. Maybe I'll blind copy because they're not doing the work. But there's other ways around doing it. I still don't understand the purpose of that besides just digging it right in there. Hey, James. I wanted to tell you, I got the ticket back, and they said there was no problems. They didn't see any kind of problems. I was having a hard time seeing your show, and then I got notification that I saw your show. So I will say, it doesn't hurt to email LinkedIn, because I like watching James' show sometimes, and I don't get a chance to get on there because I'm at work. But if it's during my lunch, I say that right, James? During my lunch, I can at least watch a show or afterwards, and I wasn't seeing it. So if you ever have any problems, listen, LinkedIn puts some great teams tickets to put that in there. But like he says right here, leadership involves being a team player. Man, if you are a micromanager, it's not too late to change. If you are one. Your workers know it. Just ask them. Come in tomorrow morning, Monday morning, and say, "Hey, everybody in the office here, do you think I'm a micromanager?" I won't yell at you if you raise your hands. You're going to see a couple of people go, yeah. So just back off. Back off a little bit. Let them grow. Another thing they do is they suggest unrealistic deadlines. When they tell you stuff to do, oh my God, they'll be like, well, I want this done, and this done. And in your mind, they've never done your job. So in your mind, you're like, okay, shit, I'm going to be living here for this one. My point there is they do that sometimes on purpose. They want you to fail so they can get rid of you. They want to pressure you out. If you're on the radar of a micromanager, I got to tell you, you might as well, you have a couple choices, right? And just being serious. You either have a couple choices. You can either you can start to look for work and employment elsewhere, because if it's affecting your family, being serious, if it's affecting your family, your health, it is not worth it. The cards were not in your hands. I don't want to go into my story. It does happen. One person can change your life at your workplace, that you've been in the workplace for 5, 10, 15 years. And that person has to go while you got that ass that's still sitting there because they thought they knew everything when they came in. But the best part about it is, I love about a micromanager is they don't last very long. They are gone out like that. You go back in a year or two, they're gone. They just tore the place apart. And what they did is they damaged the team so much that you lost 3 to 4 good people. That you lost really good people. Bill says, I could not agree about more working. And Bill, I'm sure in your expertise between sales and all that stuff that you do, I can imagine in sales. I couldn't even imagine in sales having a micromanager. Sweet Lord, boy, they must be on where were you for 30 seconds, for God's sake, routinely ask employees to stop the work to take care of emergency work. These are little things that a micromanager will bring out on you. And that says, let me do my job well and leave me alone. All right. I can picture you saying that, Bill. And what I like about Bill is, I'm going to say evolve. When you're experienced, all these things we've all been through. Listen, my story, I'll tell you what, I don't get into telling it that much because it's just, I don't like it. It's very personal to me. And when I say how one person can change your life, that happens. And then you just say, what the hell? You've done all this, and then bam. I would be gone in a heartbeat if my boss. Yep. And I think now, Bill, I'm on that same plan. I have a great bosses right now. If I ran into another micromanager, I don't care if it was at my job now, next career, who knows where you're going to be. I would handle things totally different in a professional way. There's ways, a lot of people don't realize that they don't use human resources enough for this type. Get it in front of your human resources or colleagues. Reach out to colleagues. Talk to your friends. Talk to some of the other managers. Talk to your family. Anybody that can give you advice of what you can do. Because HR is there to help you. I'm always going to say this favorite saying of mine: they scare the living hell out of me. They don't call me in for good reasons. But that's true. They do. But what my point there is, if you've been with a company for a while, right, and you feel you've done a good job, there is no reason. And if you've never been written up, and I've seen this, people go through living hell, and I watched it, and I put up with it. Those are the kind of things that I really, as I've evolved, that I would say something. Because I think if you say it professionally enough, with HR to say, help, maybe you go to HR, say, can you listen, follow? Maybe if you go out and just talk to Bob, Cindy, they're having a hard time. You can do things like that, to help, because it's not fair. Because maybe if HR gets involved, right in between, a good HR department's very diverse. They're not going to be on that manager side all the time, and they're not going to always be on the employees. They're right in the middle. So they're a good HR department can stop a lot of this. When you start going through all this within 6-7 months, and this person come in and your life is just changing, you're getting hit from all different ways, put the brakes on. My advice is to speak with the manager themselves. Tell them how you feel. Did I do that before? No. Would I open up a meeting and, say, listen, is there something that I'm doing wrong? Is there something that I can make you feel better? Is there something that I can get you off my back? Am I doing the job wrong? Can you show me the tools? Maybe I'm missing the tools, what you've had. Teach me, and I'll do that. So I really believe you can cut it off. A lot of people just don't, because they're nervous. And I understand, trust me, 1,000% I understand what people have gone through with this. Is don't let it get that far. Don't, do what you can to save your job. It's not fair when you got one ass that comes in and they just think they know everything in the book, and they're going to change the teams around when they know in a year from now it's going to be a different team. So just think about that. Become irritable when decisions are made independently. We talked about that. That's fine with me. I think you need to make decisions. Make them. Sometimes it's okay to have a micromanager. I know I'm going to eat my words for this. It has its advantages if it's a real hard project. Let them do the work for you. Man, what you can do for a micromanager is one good thing, right? Is just appease them. Like, you know what? You might know the answer, but ask the question. Hey, how would you do this, right? You know the answer. But it just makes their ego feel like, well, yeah, I would do it like that. Oh, okay, great, thank you. And walk away with your smile like, hey, I knew that was going to happen. And they're the kind of things I'm talking to you about if you have to survive one. But sometimes a good micromanager, just to get the job done, they have deadlines. And trust me, managers are stressed, but I don't think they know how to deal with that they are a micromanager. They don't know it. They don't see it. Here, all the reports require weekly, monthly activity reports for every employee. You will waste the time wasted, I can tell you from experience, of just sitting writing for a freaking email of company monthly reports. If you don't have a good system now, it's 2022. If you don't have a good software system that can just monitor everything for you, you're going to lose. You're set up for failure. I mean, so these are the kind of things that you might want to bring up to that micromanager. Hey, listen, can we have some new tools? Something to make him feel empowered. or her, make them feel empowered. Let's see. Believe the team members never take initiative to come up with new ideas. They don't want to come up with ideas. Why would they want to come up on ideas with a person like you? If you treat your team like crap, right? And you'll pick out that one person. You got that one person right now in that team that you don't like, that you're going to get rid of. I've heard micromanagers say this. Well, I was brought in to end people. I would have loved, I wish I would have said something different when I heard that now. Oh, I'm known to come into a company and terminate and get rid of people. Back in the 90s, that probably would have sunk. That's the way it was. I was brought in one company years and years ago, and that's what we did. You got rid of the people. But that's because of the training. We didn't have the training back then. It was just like, all right, and then write them up, get them out, for a certain amount of reasons. But try to, you don't have to do it that way, So another thing, one more thing here. Let's see, measure monitors. Everything's the same there. You're looking after everything, watching everything they do. Those are the kind of things that just back off. Just back off. Signs that you are one. I got a couple more things here. I'm going to end the show. Do you work long hours, right? Do you work long hours, rarely take time off? Even vacation. That's a bad sign, right? An indicator of your inability, unwillingness to delegate due to fear of losing control. That means you're going, it's so funny. You're going on vacation and you don't trust your team. You can't stay off your email. You're on your email on vacation. What are you doing? You're afraid. Let it go. Let your team do their job while you're on vacation. You'll be more relaxed. Just don't think about it. Don't check your emails. Don't go in there and ruin somebody's night. Listen, everybody says, do you check your work email on the phone and you check it on the weekends? And I used to. I did. And I'm going to tell you the reason I did then. I call it the snakes crawl at night. That was my favorite saying. The snakes crawl at night. So that means when you go on vacation, the micromanagers, when you take some time off, they come out at nighttime. They will send those emails out because they're going to think you're not checking them. In today's world, everybody checks them. So, I don't care if I'm on vacation or not. Things change now, but I would be there. I'd be like, oh, hell no, I didn't say that. Or hell no, I didn't do that. They're the things. Snakes crawl at night. That was just a favorite saying of mine that you had to watch. Don't oversee all their approval. Let them trust them. Let them take action. Is your inbox full because you want to be copied on everything? We talked about that. Delegation. It's all the same thing, about being in that type of position. Now, I want to end it with this is when it comes down to where that you might be losing your job, you just know it. Micromanagement, you're either going to leave, go out on sick leave, take Family Leave Act, right? FMLA, take it off. Take some time. Maybe that'll really help you and get some help that you need. And also work with your HR department, Oh, here he is. Let's see. Sales is a bit different as I am usually available on vacation. See that now, Bill, I'll agree with that, man. If you get some great sales in there, man, you don't want to turn something down. That's going to give you a great bonus. But look, like he says, he has staff to help me though. And I'm glad you were on tonight, Bill. That's the main thing. I'm going to leave that right there. I have staff to help me through. You're not going to fail if you have a great staff. But in closing is go to HR. Sometimes you have to suck it up and there's nothing you can do, but you're going to get let go. You have a choice. It's coming. Either be let go, right? You're going to go into that meeting. That micromanager is going to be in there. He's going to be more nervous. He or she's going to be more nervous than you are. Trust me. They don't want to be there. A good HR person, listen, you can have the greatest relationship with your HR director through the years. Think they're your friend. You don't have friends at work. You have coworkers. I'm sorry, on some jobs. But you think, you've known them for years and years and years. But at the end of the day, sometimes that HR department, nothing they can do. They're going to go along with the manager. Now, this is on this show about being the ones that were wrongly terminated. There's where I think some of the HR department needs training on, you better get two sides of the stories. You need to have everything, because I will tell you, when you go into a meeting that you're going to be letting go after years, have everything documented for you. Take your notes, take your time, write down. People say things, write it down, document it all, every single thing you had. If you've heard things, if somebody sent you emails, because when you're in that meeting being let go, at least you can sit there and bring some stuff back. And that sometimes it doesn't change the outcome, but it can change the behavior of that micromanager the next time, because when you leave, that HR department should be on the back of that person saying, what the hell are you doing? What the living hell are you doing? Why have you done that to something like that? And it's too late. It's too late. HR didn't know about it. And that's the thing. If HR doesn't know about any of this, right, that's where a good one will be like, wait a minute here. You have Bill in here. He's got 15 years with a company, and we're going to get rid of him? For what? Seriously, for what? For you got a new boss that comes in? That's literally impossible. That should never have happened. Right there, I'd be like, oh, hell no, we're not having this meeting. If I was HR director and all that, I'd be like, oh, look, we're going to do some more investigation on this stuff. Because a person with 15 years and you've never been friggin' written up, and then you got that person in that office and you're watching them. You're going to ruin their lives at 15 years with a company, and you're going to walk out because some ass is on him about not doing their job, not doing this, and that person's just known for that. I'm sorry, I take this stuff very personal, because you have to feel it. You got to feel the anger. You got to know what somebody goes through, of what a micromanager can put a person through. A micromanager will scar you for a long, long time. They will make you feel angry. They will make you feel, what did you do wrong? They will hurt your family. They will make you unhealthy. You'll be on medications before you know it. But what I'm telling you tonight is, please, I'm going to end it here. Go to your human resources department, sit down, close the door. There is nothing that a good HR person is not going to not listen. They're there for you. If I had a problem at my work, and if I was really not in the wrong, if I'm really strong, I'm going to go to the HR department and say, listen, something's happening here, and I need your help. I need your guidance. And that HR will give you the guidance. They will give you the tools. They will do that for you. So thanks, Bill. And they're the kind of things I wanted to hit tonight on here. So everybody have a great night. We'll be back on Wednesday. No, tomorrow night, probably tomorrow night. And then Wednesday with Melissa, with Munster. You got to love it. So Munster, you're going to love it. Munster Jobs. And we will see everybody then. And again, anybody looking for a job, please, reach out. I'll have you on the show and we'll get you hired somewhere. So let me find my outro video and we'll talk to everybody soon.